10 singers, 10 songs. And in every single case, someone looked them in the eye and said, "Don't release that. It will end you."
Do what they told ya, and now you do what they told ya.
Some of those warnings came from label executives, some from politicians. One came from the President of the United States himself.
There's no future in England's
And one came from the singer, while the tape was already rolling. In the middle of a recording session he couldn't bring himself to finish. Number 10, Lou Reed, Walk on the Wild Side, 1972. (1972) Trident Studios in London. David Bowie is producing Lou Reed's second solo album, Transformer.
Everybody had to pay and pay.
And RCA Records is quietly, carefully worried. Because Lou Reed has written a song called Walk on the Wild Side.
Go, 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 they said, "Hey, sugar, take a walk on the wild side."
And it names, by name, in the verses of a pop song, real transgender women, real male hustlers, real factory superstars from Andy Warhol's New York. People whose lives had never been sung about on mainstream radio. People whose existence alone was considered too transgressive for American airwaves in 1972. It contains a reference to oral sex explicit enough that RCA quietly produces a cleaned-up version specifically for radio stations.
The streets, looking for soul food and a place to eat.
Record World magazine, reviewing it before release, notes that programmers will be cautious at first. Cautious, that's one way to say it. Here's what actually happens. Most American radio stations play the original uncensored version anyway. And in the UK, the BBC, which famously banned Beatles songs for mentioning brand names, which had banned Bob Dylan songs for language, plays Walk on the Wild Side completely uncut, without hesitation, every time.
A hustle here and a hustle there. New York City is the place where they said, "Hey."
Because nobody at the BBC understood what giving head meant. The phrase wasn't common in British slang. And so the song that RCA thought would never get on radio became one of the most played songs on British radio that year. There's something almost beautiful about that. Lou Reed once said he wrote the song because he thought it might be fun to introduce people to characters they maybe hadn't met before or hadn't wanted to meet.
Little Joe never once gave it away.
Holly Woodlawn, Candy Darling, Jackie Curtis, Joe D'Alessandro, Joe Campbell, people the radio wasn't supposed to care about. The song peaked at number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100. It became Reed's biggest hit, his signature song, the one people hum note for note without even thinking about what the words mean. If you've ever watched something bold and unconventional slip past the gatekeepers simply because the gatekeepers didn't understand what they were supposed to be stopping, that feeling is exactly this.
Plucked her eyebrows on the way, shaved her legs.
The warning was real, the danger was real, and somehow, Walk on the Wild Side walked right through the door no one thought to lock. Number 9, The Doors, The End, 1966. August 21st, 1966, The Whiskey A Go-Go, Los Angeles. The Doors have been the house band here all summer, 2 sets a night, 6 nights a week. And over the course of these months, one song has been evolving in performance, getting longer, getting stranger, getting further into territory that makes the rest of the band visibly nervous.
Took a ride.
The End. Jim Morrison started writing it as a breakup song, a farewell to his girlfriend who had followed him from Florida to Los Angeles and was now gone. 4 minutes, sad and quiet. But every time they play it live, Morrison extends it, adds spoken word, pushes into darker, more specific, more unsettling places. And somewhere deep in the middle of it, he's found an edible passage that Ray Manzarek dreads every time the song comes up. Tonight, Morrison is late. He's been out drinking. The band has already played the first set without him. When they retrieve him, he's been tripping on acid. He goes on stage. He decides to play the end, not at the end of the set, in the middle, and he pushes further than he has ever gone before.
And their bride.
He reaches the section. The crowd goes quiet. Morrison says, "Father, yes, son, I want to kill you. Mother, I want to." Manzarek thinks at that exact moment, "Oh my God, Jim, don't do it." He does it. Whiskey A Go-Go owner Elmer Valentine fires the doors on the spot. That night, the show is over. Don't come back. And here's the thing about that. Elektra Records has already signed them. In January 1967, their debut album comes out with The End as the closing track.
Have you seen?
Every word of the Oedipal section intact, the whole 11 minutes of it. Almost 60 years later, that night at the Whiskey, the performance that got them fired from the only steady gig they had, is one of the most referenced moments in the entire history of rock and roll. The song that lost them a residency defined a generation.
Let's look at the numbers. Only 9% of you are actually subscribed. Honestly, that's tough to see. Our team spends days hunting down archives and verifying every single fact just to tell these stories right. If you've made it this far into the video, you're clearly part of the community, so please hit subscribe. It costs nothing and helps us immensely. Now, for those already subscribed, very few of you have made the jump to our membership, and that's a hard pill to swallow because you're the ones who know our value best. If this channel has moved you or inspired you, consider joining. It's the price of one coffee, but it's the literal fuel for this channel. Let's keep this alive together. Back to the story.
Number 8, Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name, 1992. Tom Morello has said this publicly, and I think it's one of the most honest things any musician has ever admitted about their own work. I wish I could tell you it was the band's idea. It was not. Rage Against the Machine recorded Killing in the Name in the early days of their existence as part of a 12-song demo tape. When they sequenced that tape, they didn't put it first. They put it sixth, song 6. That's where they thought it belonged, buried in the middle. Morello had written the riff while teaching a guitar lesson, stopped mid-lesson, grabbed a recorder, apologized to the student. The riff was there, but releasing it as a lead single, completely unedited, a song that ends with Zach De La Rocha screaming, "F you, I won't do what you tell me" 16 consecutive times, plus one more word that starts with mother. That was Epic Records A&R man Michael Goldstone's idea. His specific condition, not one word gets changed. 16 F words straight to radio, completely intact. Morello's memory of standing in the Epic Records offices when Goldstone said this, "You want that to be the first single?" American radio largely refused to play it. American MTV banned the video.
You do what they told ya.
The song that Goldstone said could launch a band was being treated in America like contraband, but European MTV played the uncensored version on a loop. Killing in the Name went nuclear across Europe, South America, Japan, wherever the censorship laws had enough give. The song became the anthem of a generation that felt exactly what De La Rocha was screaming. Exactly. And then, 17 years later, a Facebook campaign in the UK chose Killing in the Name as their weapon of choice in a campaign to stop an X Factor winner from claiming Christmas #1. A 1992 track became the UK Christmas #1 in 2009, the song the band buried on their own demo, the song they worried about before anyone else had the chance to. Some songs understand something about themselves before you do. Number 7. Ice-T/Body Count, Cop Killer, 1992. You need to understand what it meant, in 1992, for a sitting president of the United States to call your song sick. Body Count is a heavy metal band. Ice-T formed them. And their debut album contains a song called Cop Killer, a first-person rage piece written from the perspective of a character responding to police brutality, written in the months before the Rodney King verdict, released just weeks after the Los Angeles riots. What follows is unlike anything the music industry had seen since the PMRC hearings in 1985. 60 members of Congress sign a letter to Time Warner condemning the song. Police organizations across the country mobilize simultaneously. The Combined Law Enforcement Association of Texas threatens to divest their pension funds from Time Warner stock entirely unless the song is pulled. Two of the biggest record retail chains in America pull the album from their shelves. President George H.W. Bush calls it sick. Vice President Dan Quayle speaks out. Oliver North compares the song to Charles Manson and calls for Time Warner executives to be tried for sedition and anarchy. Charlton Heston, a minor Time Warner shareholder, shows up personally to the July 16 shareholders meeting and reads the lyrics aloud in front of executives and news cameras as an act of protest. Two police officers who had been blinded in the line of duty testify at the meeting about the impact of the song. Ice-T is receiving death threats. Real ones. On July 28, 1992, he calls a press conference and pulls the song himself, before anyone forces him to. He says he's concerned for the safety of Warner Brothers employees receiving threats. Whether that was his decision or theirs, the line there is genuinely blurry. Some people say he backed down under institutional pressure. Others say he refused to give the machinery of opposition the satisfaction of forcing his hand. Ice-T himself has always maintained it was his call. "I ain't never killed no cop," he said at the time. Some of you already know which side of this argument you come down on. Drop it in the comments. I want to see how this one lands. Number 6, Judas Priest, Better by You, Better Than Me, Stained Class, 1978.
Guess you'll have to tell her how I tried.
December 23, 1985, Sparks, Nevada. Two friends, Raymond Belknap, 18 years old, and James Vance, 20, spend 6 hours listening to Judas Priest's 1978 album, Stained Class. Then they go outside to a church courtyard with a shotgun. Raymond dies that night. James survives, but the lower half of his face is destroyed. He lives 3 more years, in and out of hospitals, before dying in 1988. Their families file a $6.2 million lawsuit against Judas Priest and CBS Records, claiming the album contains subliminal messages hidden backward inside a song called Better by You, Better Than Me, specifically the command, "Do it," that compelled the two young men to make their suicide pact. Judas Priest's legal team is direct. This could bankrupt you. In July 1990, they walk into a Nevada courtroom. Rob Halford in a business suit instead of leather and studs. Sitting there listening to attorneys argue that their music, the thing they'd given their lives to, is a defective product. Like a toaster that catches fire, like a car with bad brakes, something that should come with a warning label. At one point, Halford gets up and demonstrates, live, in front of the judge, what random tape noise sounds like when you slow it down and play it backward. Showing how any combination of sounds becomes messages when you're desperate enough to find them. Later, he says, "It was absolutely ridiculous. We love our fans. We would never put anything in our music with the intent of harming them." Judge Jerry Whitehead throws the case out on August 24, 1990. No subliminal messages, no liability. The do-it sound was an inadvertent mixing artifact, not intent. CBS Records is fined $40,000 for withholding the original master tapes during discovery. That's it. Judas Priest plays Better by You, Better Than Me in concert for the first time since 1979 at the very first show of their next tour. On purpose, because some things need to be reclaimed.
Just you have to tell her how I tried.
And yet, 2 kids died, and a band had to sit in a Nevada courtroom and argue their music wasn't murder. Winning doesn't always feel like winning. Number 5, Marilyn Manson, Antichrist Superstar, 1996. October 8th, 1996. Nothing/Interscope Records. Antichrist Superstar is released. It's a concept album about a worm who becomes an angel and uses his power to destroy the world. The producer is Trent Reznor. File that name away. It comes back in a few entries. What greets the album is one of the strangest organized cultural panics in American music history. Nearly every concert venue on the Dead to the World tour gets picketed by religious organizations passing out flyers claiming, none of this is true, that Marilyn Manson performs acts of bestiality, human sacrifice, and satanic ritual live on stage. The claims are so extreme they sound invented. Because they are. States attempt to ban the concerts outright. South Carolina, Virginia, New Jersey. Local councils pass formal resolutions. Courts overturn every single one. Unconstitutional. First Amendment. Every time. His band becomes the subject of Senate subcommittee hearings. Congress, the Congress of the United States, holding formal proceedings, trying to find a legal mechanism to hold someone accountable for the cultural anxiety one rock album was generating. Interscope Records is watching all of this, and nobody can model what happens next when the legislature is holding hearings about your record. Manson walks into the full weight of that scrutiny and refuses to be embarrassed by it. He said something once about the album's central character that stays with me. The Antichrist Superstar is anyone who was ever told that who they were was wrong and decided to make something out of that wrongness instead of letting it destroy them. Antichrist Superstar sells more than 7 million copies worldwide while the hearings are happening. And the producer of this record, Trent Reznor, is going to get a phone call a few years from now that changes everything we know about one of his most personal songs. Number 4, Nirvana. Rate Me, 1993. There is a moment at the 1992 MTV Video Music Awards that nobody in the production truck ever forgot. Nirvana is supposed to play Lithium. That's the arrangement. That's what was agreed. MTV president Judy McGrath has made her position clear. The song they want to open with, the one called Rate Me, is not going on live television. Her reasoning, the title alone will make it look like MTV is normalizing rape. Manager Danny Goldberg has explained that the song is explicitly anti-rape. as direct as Cobain could make it. McGrath doesn't move. Nirvana agrees to play Lithium, and Kurt Cobain walks to the microphone and plays the opening bars of Rape Me. Just a few seconds, just long enough for the message to land clearly. I know what we agreed, and I needed you to know I know. The production truck is seconds from cutting to commercial. They don't, because Cobain stops and goes into Lithium. The deal holds, barely. When In Utero comes out in 1993, Rape Me is on it. Track 3. Walmart and Kmart refuse to carry the album because of the title. In their stores, the song appears not as Rape Me, but as Waif Me. That's not a typo. That's what it says in those stores. Waif Me. Kurt Cobain wrote the song because he was tired of having his lyrics misread. He made it as direct as he possibly could, and then the directness became the problem. There's a specific kind of exhaustion in that, in making something impossible to misread and being told the clarity itself is the offense. Rape Me was released as a single in December 1993. It was the last Nirvana single released before his death on April 5, 1994. If you've ever made something exactly as raw and direct as you meant it, and then watched the institutions around you try to file down every edge that made it what it was, you don't need me to explain what that feels like. Number 3, Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen, 1977. There is a specific kind of erasure, where instead of destroying something, you just refuse to say its name out loud. The song was originally called No Future. When it became clear that Queen Elizabeth II's Silver Jubilee was approaching, Malcolm McLaren renamed it. And the Sex Pistols aimed it directly at the celebration. A&M Records had signed them in March 1977. 6 days later, A&M drops them. They destroy 25,000 copies of the record. The surviving A&M pressings eventually sell for up to £16,000 apiece. Richard Branson's Virgin Records takes the risk. They release it on May 27, 1977. The BBC bans it immediately. Radio 2 controller Charles McClelland calls it in gross bad taste. Labour MP Marcus Lipton says publicly, "If pop music is going to be used to destroy our established institutions, then it ought to be destroyed first." W.H. Smith and Boots refused to stock it. Retailers across Britain distanced themselves from it. Members of the band are attacked on the streets of London with razor blades. On Jubilee Day itself, the band performs the song from a boat on the Thames. Several members are arrested when the boat docks. Then the chart comes out. The official UK singles chart, God Save the Queen, has apparently sold enough to reach number 1. The number 1 position is listed as a blank space, no title, no artist, an empty field, so as not to offend the Queen. The spot is awarded to Rod Stewart. John Lydon later said, "You don't write God Save the Queen because you hate the English race. You write it because you love them and you're fed up with them being mistreated." 40-something years later, nobody remembers what Rod Stewart was number 1 with that week. Not one person in 100. They erased the title from the chart, and the song outlasted everything they put in its place. Number 2, Ozzy Osbourne, Suicide Solution, 1980. Here's the thing most people don't actually know about Suicide Solution. The song is about Bon Scott. AC/DC's Bon Scott died in February 1980. Alcohol poisoning, found in the back of a car. And Ozzy Osbourne, who knew what it was to drink yourself toward the dark edge of something, sat down with bassist Bob Daisley and wrote a song called Suicide Solution, not a celebration, a warning. Daisley has always been unambiguous about it. The song is a warning to anybody that's drinking themselves into an early grave. The word solution in the title means liquid, a drink, not a way out. The song appears on Blizzard of Oz in 1980. On October 27, 1984, a 19-year-old named John Daniel McCollum shoots himself in Indio, California, after listening to the album for 5 hours. He's still wearing his headphones when they find him. In November 1985, his family files suit against Ozzy Osbourne and CBS Records, claiming Suicide Solution caused their son's death. That a song written as a warning about the danger of drinking drove a teenager to shoot himself. Ozzy's legal team makes the situation plain. This could end you. The case is thrown out. First Amendment, protected speech. The California Court of Appeals upholds the decision. But then, another family files suit in 1986. A different teenager. A different tragedy. The same song, the same argument. Dismissed. And then again, 1988. 3 families, 3 lawsuits, 3 separate tragedies. All blamed on a song that Bob Daisley wrote as an anti-drinking warning after watching Bon Scott die from drinking. Ozzy himself has said, and I think about this line more than I probably should, it'd be a pretty bad career move for me to write a song saying, grab a gun and kill yourself. I wouldn't have many fans left. Three lawsuits, 3 dismissals, and a song that meant the exact opposite of what they said it meant, fighting the same accusation 3 separate times across 3 separate years. Some of you know what that particular exhaustion feels like. Making something that gets misread so badly, it becomes its own opposite in someone else's hands. Number 1, Johnny Cash, Hurt, 2002.